Jesus freak here. So I follow a number of YouTube channels. Some of them are channels that a lot of my viewers are probably not going to politically or religiously agree with. Now, there is one channel called Telltale, used to be called the Telltale Atheist. Now, you know I believe that Christianity is the objective truth. I also believe that it's not necessarily persecution if you can't use every possible location as proselytization ground. There's a time and a place for that. Our government has a rule that those who are part of the government can't spread their religion as representatives of the government. And a public school is generally controlled by the government. At least in most states that I'm aware of, the public schools are controlled by the state government. And the state government has to abide by the Bill of Rights as much as the federal government does. I believe this was a case involving the 14th Amendment. Now, whether you might agree with that or not, this YouTuber Telltale, his daughter recorded her teacher proselytizing her students during class. And it's a one-party consent state, so it was legal for her to do it. Now, when he came out and said, this is violation of of my daughter's First Amendment rights, the town he lived in went all Darvel on him and decided to repaint the story. So instead of, as a non-believer or in a public school, I tend to be one who thinks, if you want a Christian education, do it yourself or go to a Christian school. Our public school system is deliberately not designed that way. Now, they called someone out on this because it is technically against the First Amendment. But the town decided to repaint it. She shouldn't have been recording. It was legal in her state that her father must be abusing her because he's an atheist, as if only Christians are capable of being moral. See, that's the benefit they have, is that when they are moral, they're moral because it's the right thing to do, not because they have someone, they believe someone's looking over their shoulder. which arguably makes them more moral despite their denial of reality. Now, here's where things get problematic. When they were talking about lynching, and they were talking about burning the guy's house down, and they basically ran him out of West Virginia, now look at what Jesus said, If he's talking to love your neighbor and love your love God and love your fellow man. Even if they're not Christians, is it loving your fellow man? Is it loving your neighbor? To threaten to burn their house down? Yeah. That's a good witness. That's a good testimony. Yeah, they'll know we're Christians by our love, indeed. It's setting a bad example. Go ahead, disagree with them. But they were going to lynch him. They were going to burn down his house. They were talking about sicking child protective on him just because he called someone out for teaching religion, teaching Christianity in a place where that would technically be a violation of the First Amendment. So that she could be raised in a real Christian household. I disagree with his religious viewpoints. I understand why he feels the way he does, because he got thrown out of the Jehovah's Witnesses and then started challenging what he had been taught. And a lot of people come out of cults and become atheists. That doesn't justify threatening to burn their house down, and that doesn't justify chasing them out of the state. They got just as much a right to be there as you do. Like I said, you're a bad testimony for your faith if you're doing this. Jesus freak out.